Today we're going to talk about the JavaScript function called fetch, basically to get an API response or data from API. So the simplest use of fetch takes one argument, the path to the resource you want to fetch, and does not directly return a JSON, but returns a promise that resolves with the response object. And I have provided you with the MDN link here. And the tools we're going to use is the public API. For API testing, you can use Postman or Thunder Client, whether it's working or not. Let's go to the API. This is a simple API for this tutorial. The basic syntax of a URL request to the API shown below. HTTPS API.dictionary API.dev API version 2 entries EN English and the word. So let's go with the API provided here, and let's use the API example given here, with the word hello. And let's say you want to check the meaning of an apple, just say hello to apple. But we are not going to do dynamic here. We are just going to simply see how to get the information and render it in the HTML without any styling sheet. So let's go and copy this API. Let's close it and let's go back to our API testing. So Thunder Client at the VS extension, let's get a new request and let's paste the API, change it to get and send, and we are getting the response here. So as you can see, this is an array of objects. This is one object, two, likewise. So let's go to our file structure. We have a simple HTML and index.js. Let's quickly create our boilerplate HTML by using the shortcut key exclamation mark and press tab, and we got our boilerplate. Let's change the title to dictionary, and within the body let's link our index.js by defining it here. Okay, and after that let's create a div element to check whether our file is actually working. We're gonna create a class calling result and an ID called results, and let's see whether it's working. Let's say hello, save it, and I have an extension called live server. You can get it from VS Code, and let's open it up. Yes, it's working. Let's close this addition on this thing, and it's working here. Let's close this. We can either delete the element here and we can get it from the API like this, or we can do it using the index.js. Okay, first let's get this div element to our index. So simply we call const dot result dot document dot get element by ID, call it result. Since we are using class result here, this is ID, and there should be another. Okay, that's good. Now let's comment out each code. So when you guys are referring back, you will know what we have done here. Okay, so this line retrieves, okay, Retrieve the HTML element with the ID result and assign it to the result variable. This element will be used to display the fetch word. So whatever element, you're going to get it from the API request, it's going to display it in this container. Now this div element. Okay, let's go to the next part. So let's create an anonymous or X function. X. Since this is a promise, we have to use anonymous or a arrow function. Let's call the fetch, and let's put our API in. Let's put our API. Saying hello. This, and now since the fetch as required takes one argument, which is the URL, the path to the resource you want to fetch, and does not directly return a JSON. So we have to call a then method to convert this into a JSON. For this we'll use, again we have to use another arrow function and call a .json method. And let's comment this one as out. Okay, so the first what we have done here is here function X is defined. The function uses to fetch, to send a GET request, so important part, to the dictionary API with the word hello as a search term. The response is then received as a promise. After that, we are calling another then method on it. To convert to JSON format, and let's call another JSON to convert this into data. So now let's define this as data, and let's just call it like this. Now let's assume that we kept hello here. Either we can delete this and render it. If not, we can delete it within the index.js. So for that we have to go into the div element. So we can just, since we have defined the div element here as result dot text content in an empty string. So this line just simply, let's comment this one as well. This line clears the existing content of the result by setting its text content to an empty string. This ensures that any previous results are removed before displaying the new result. Okay. Next one is next is this coding for the handling the fetch data. Okay, so we're gonna create another element, div element, but we already have created one. But in this tutorial I'm just gonna show you how to create another div element. So let's create a word div, camel case, document, dot create element, call div, so word div, and we're gonna add a class list to it. Add called word. So what I've done here is simply these lines create a new word div using the document create element method and assign it to the word div variable, word div. This word class, the word class, or simply the word class, is added to the div element using the class lid method. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to create another header or header element to show this hello word as a prominent. So we'll just create it. Okay, now we're gonna create, let's comment it out, then I'll explain it line by line. So first we create a new h3 element is created and assigned to the word heading variable. So const word heading, and you use document create element h3. The second line, the text content of h3 element is set to hello because we are rendering or we are getting hello here from the API. We're going to say hello. So word heading dot text content. We can use inner HTML, but for security reason, it's better to use text content. But the only issue is that it is a more, you have to write more lines of code. That's fine. So hello, and we're going to use the h3 element is then appended as a child to the word div element. The word div we created over here. Okay, now we have got the word hello as the heading. Now let's go grab the meaning. So this, I'll explain it line by line once I commented the code. So this is the piece of code which is going to get the meaning. So basically now we are going to get this hello. Okay, so let's go back to our index.js and let's comment this as well. These lines create a new p element and assign it to the meaning paragraph variable. So dot create element and we create a p. The word meaning class is added to this p element. So we are adding a word class. If you have to do styling, so it's better to have these classes defined. The text content of the p element is set to the definition of the fetch word. So we are using meaning paragraph dot text content. The meaning paragraph element is appended as a child to the word div. Finally, the word div. So this element, word div or the div element, we're going to put all this header and this definition one beneath the other. So how are we getting the data or the meaning or the definition from this API? Since we have already got the data as a readable format, now as you've seen, it's an array. So we are going to go into the first array by using the index method 0. Then we're gonna go into meanings, and then we are going into definitions, and within that definition we are going to go into the definition. So if you go back to the Thunder client and if you click here, so first this is the entire data, and in this data we're going to go into the meanings. So meaning is the first object here. So within this meanings, we're going to go into definitions. So that's the first component of it. So 0. So we're in this section. And within definition, we're going to go inside again, definition. So simply it's 0, 0, 0 and definition. And we're going to append this meaning to this. So finally, let's call the result. So what are we going to do? We're going to append the result to the div element. So let's comment that one as well. Finally, the word div element containing the word and its meaning is appended as a child to the result element. This will display the word and its meaning with the result section of the page. Now, this will not work unless we have to do the final thing. So since we have defined a function here, we have never used it. So let's invoke it, or let's call the function at the bottom. Okay, now let's see whether it's working. Go to live server. Yes, if you refresh it, it's working. How do you know it's working? It's not just copy pasted information. Okay, let's go back to our server and let's change hello. Just press Ctrl D or Command D in your keyboards, and let's select wherever there's an hello. Okay, we have hello in 3 places. This is the comment, that's fine. Let's leave it out. Let's type ball and see what happens. Does it work? Yes, it does. A ball, a solid Hello sphere, or roughly spherical mass. Whatever information you put here, we'll simply change it. Let's say cat, and let's put cat here again. And let's call C. It's working. Cat, an animal for family Felidae. So thank you very much for viewing this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. And if there's any question, please leave a comment. Thank you.